Welcome everyone. Bienvenue tout le monde à cette cérémonie pour le décernement des conseillers de la Reine, des désignations de conseillers de la Reine. J'ai parlé à tous les nouveaux conseillers de la Reine au téléphone. J'ai eu le plaisir de le faire et c'est avec plaisir que je préside cette cérémonie cet après-midi. So congratulations to you all once again. It was a pleasure speaking to you by telephone. I got some really nice reactions, as I often do when this designation is given. As you know, it's only given to 1% of the practicing members of the bar each year. This year, as it turned out, the number was 13. The designation can't be given unless it's the unanimous consent of the president of the Law Society, the Attorney General, and the Chief Justice. This year, for some reason I won't get into, the president of the Law Society was unable to attend. As a result, the past president attended. We'll proceed the same way we did last year. It's unfortunate that this isn't taking place in person. We had somewhat hoped that it would be in person this year and we could invite the QCs from last year to at least the reception, if a reception there was going to be. When we had this discussion a year ago, there were high anticipations for the resolution of the COVID situation with the advance of the vaccines and so on, but we all know what's happened, and let's just hope that the next year will give us something nicer to look forward to. Alors, je vais procéder de la façon suivante. Je vais annoncer chaque candidat et candidate et je comprends qu'on vous a donné l'obligation à réciter et simplement de réciter l'obligation comme selon le choix que vous, selon le document qui vous a été acheminé. Et par la suite, il y aura quelques discours une fois les obligations, une fois que tout le monde aura lu l'obligation. So we'll proceed. I'll name everyone one at a time, and you will recite the obligation, which is set out in the document that was provided to you. And following that, there will be some addresses by some of the distinguished people present here this afternoon. Alors, je débute, and I'm starting with Fern Ashford. I'm going in alphabetical order. So, Ms. Ashford.
Thank you. I do declare that well and truly I will serve Her Majesty the Queen as one of her council, learned in the law, and truly counsel the Queen in her matters when I shall be called, and duly and truly minister the Queen's matters and sue the Queen's process after the course of the law and after my skill. I will duly, in convenient time, speed such matters as any person shall have to do in the law against the Queen as I may lawfully do without long delay, tracting or tarrying the party of his lawful process and that to me belongeth. I will be attendant to the Queen's matters when I be called thereto.
Thank you. David Bartlett.
I do declare that well and truly I will serve Her Majesty the Queen as one of her council, learned in the law, and truly counsel the Queen in her matters. And I shall be called, and duly and truly minister the Queen's matters, and sue the Queen's process after the course of the law and after my skill. I will duly, in convenient time, speed such matters as any person shall have to do in the law against the Queen, as I may lawfully do without long delay, tracking or tarrying the party of his lawful process in that to me belongeth. I will be attendant to the Queen's matters when I be called thereto.
Thank you, Mr. Bartlett. Nathan Gorham.
I do declare that well and truly I will serve Her Majesty the Queen as one of her council, learned in the law, and truly counsel the Queen in her matters, when I shall be called, and duly and truly minister the Queen's matters, and sue the Queen's process after the course of the law, and after my skill. I will duly, in convenient time, speed such matters as any person shall have to do in the law, against the Queen as I may lawfully do without long delay, tracting or tarrying the party of his lawful process in that to me belongeth. I will be attendant to the Queen's matters when I be called thereto.
Thank you, Mr. Gorham. Matthew Hayes.
I do declare that well and truly I will serve Her Majesty the Queen as one of her council learned in the law, and truly counsel the Queen in her matters when I shall be called upon, and duly and truly minister the Queen's matters and sue the Queen's process after the course of the law and after my skill. I will duly in convenient time speed such matters as any person shall have to do in the law against the Queen, as I may lawfully do without long delay, tracting or tarrying the party of his lawful process in that belongeth. I will be attendant to the Queen's matters when I be called thereto.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Lucie Laboissonnière.
Je déclare par les présentes que je servirai fidèlement et loyalement Sa Majesté la Reine comme l'un de ses conseillers en loi, que je la conseillerai loyalement dans ses affaires lorsque je serai appelée à le faire, que je lui prêterai fidèlement et loyalement mon ministère et que je donnerai suite aux affaires de la Reine en conformité avec la loi et au mieux de mes aptitudes, que je m'acquitterai de ces missions avec célérité et sans retard, et que je vaquerai aux affaires de la Reine lorsque je serai appelée à le faire.
Merci. Joshua McKelman.
I do declare that well and truly I will serve Her Majesty the Queen as one of her council, learned in the law, and truly counsel the Queen in her matters when I shall be called, and duly and truly minister the Queen's matters and sue the Queen's process after the course of the law and after my skill. I will duly in convenient time speed such matters as any person shall have to do in the law against the Queen, as I may lawfully do without long delay, tracting and tarrying the party of his lawful process in that to me belongeth. I will be attendant to the Queen's matters when I be called thereto.
Thank you, Mr. McKelman. Brenda McMullen Brown.
I do declare that well and truly I will serve Her Majesty the Queen as one of her council, learned in the law, and truly counsel the Queen in her matters, when I shall be called, and duly and truly minister the Queen's matters, and sue the Queen's process after the course of the law and after my skill. I will duly, in convenient time, speed such matters as any person shall have to do in the law against the Queen, as I may lawfully do, without long delay, tracting or tarrying the party of his lawful process. In that to me belongeth, I will be attendant to the Queen's matters when I be called thereto.
Thank you, Ms. McMullen Brown. Joël Michaud.
Je déclare par les présentes que je servirai fidèlement et loyalement Sa Majesté comme l'un de ses conseillers en loi, que je la conseillerai loyalement dans ses affaires lorsque je serai appelé à le faire, que je lui prêterai fidèlement et loyalement mon ministère et que je donnerai suite aux affaires de la Reine en conformité avec la loi et au mieux de mes aptitudes, que je m'acquitterai de ces missions avec célérité et sans retard et que je vaquerai aux affaires de la Reine lorsque je serai appelé à le faire.
Merci, M. Michaud. Carly Parrish.
Je déclare par les présentes que je servirai fidèlement et loyalement Sa Majesté la Reine comme l'un de ses conseillers en loi, que je la conseillerai loyalement dans ses affaires lorsque je serai appelé à le faire, que je lui prêterai fidèlement et loyalement mon ministre et que je donnerai suite aux affaires de la Reine en conformité avec la loi et au mieux de mes aptitudes, que je m'acquitterai de ces missions avec célérité et sans retard et que je vaquerai aux affaires de la Reine lorsque je serai appelé à le faire.
Merci, Madame Parrish. Justin Robichaud.
Je déclare pour les présentes que je servirai fidèlement et loyalement Sa Majesté la Reine comme l'un de ses conseillers en loi. Je la conseillerai loyalement dans ses affaires lorsque je serai appelé à le faire, que je lui prêterai fidèlement et loyalement mon ministère et que je donnerai suite aux affaires de la Reine en conformité avec la loi et au mieux de mes aptitudes. Je m'acquitterai de ces missions avec célérité et sans retard et que je vaquerai aux affaires de la Reine lorsque je serai appelé à le faire.
Merci, M. Robichaud. Carole Sirois-Paquette.
Je déclare par les présentes que je servirai fidèlement et loyalement Sa Majesté la Reine comme l'une de ses conseillères en loi, que je la conseillerai loyalement dans ses affaires lorsque je serai appelée à le faire, que je lui prêterai fidèlement et loyalement mon ministère et que je donnerai suite aux affaires de la reine en conformité avec la loi et au mieux de mes aptitudes, que je m'acquitterai de ces missions avec célérité et sans retard et que je vaquerai aux affaires de la reine lorsque je serai appelée à le faire.
Merci, Madame Sirois-Paquette. Daniel Surette.
Par le présent, que je servirai fidèlement et loyalement Sa Majesté la Reine, comme l'un de ses conseillers en loi, que je la conseillerai loyalement dans ses affaires, lorsque je serai appelé à le faire, que je lui prêterai fidèlement et loyalement mon ministère, que je donnerai suite aux affaires de la Reine en conformité avec la loi et au mieux de mes aptitudes, que je m'acquitterai de ces missions avec sérénité et sans retard, et que je vaquerai aux affaires de la Reine lorsque je serai appelé à le faire.
Merci, M. Surette. Corey Ann Toole.
I do declare that well and truly I will serve Her Majesty the Queen as one of her council learned in the law, and truly counsel the Queen in her matters when I shall be called, and duly and truly minister the Queen's matters, and sue the Queen's process after the course of the law and after my skill. I will duly, in convenient time, speed such matters as any person shall have to do in the law against the Queen, as I may lawfully do without long delay, tracting or tearing the party of his lawful process in that to me belongeth. I will be attendant to the Queen's matters when I be called thereto.
Thank you, Ms. Toole. So at this point, I congratulate you all and inform you that you now have the right to use the designation Queen's Counsel after your name. If this were a ceremony in person, I, or more likely than not, the Lieutenant Governor would be inviting you to take off your gown and don the silk, as they say in England, that is, put on a more expensive gown, which you are now entitled to wear. So, congratulations. Alors, à ce moment, je profite de l'occasion pour vous féliciter et vous dire que vous avez été choisi parmi un groupe quand même très impressionnant d'avocats et avocates. Vous vous êtes distingué par les travaux que vous avez faits, tant pour vos clients que pour le barreau ou dans votre communauté. Alors, vous pouvez maintenant utiliser les initiales CR après votre nom et vous pouvez en être fier. Alors, that's it for me. I will now call upon the Honorable Hugh J. Fleming, QC, Attorney General of New Brunswick, to extend congratulations to the Queen's Counsel. Mr. Minister.
Thank you, and good afternoon, Chief Justice Richard, Justice Quigg, Justice Green, if he's emerged from cyberspace, Ms. Fawcett, Ms. Daigle, and to the new members of the Queen's Counsel and guests. It's certainly one of the more pleasant parts of my job is to participate in this event. And again, my privilege to bring greetings and congratulations on behalf of the province. To the newest members of the Queen's Counsel, I'm grateful to be here and mark this important moment in your career. This Zoom business doesn't replace seeing you all in person. That would, of course, be far preferable, but it's better than not having the ceremony at all, and I'm sure you're all pleased in that regard. These challenges of this pandemic, we'll work through it as best we can and continue with this tradition. The designation Queen's Counsel is an honor that recognizes a lawyer for their exceptional commitment to their profession and their ability. It's interesting to note that the first person ever appointed Queen's Counsel was Sir Francis Bacon. He was appointed by Queen Elizabeth I, who had many challenges in her reign, to represent her in all of her legal matters before the courts and any other aspect. So Francis Bacon was a very interesting fellow, an outstanding lawyer, but also jurist, philosopher, scholar, scientist, and certainly the first Queen's Counsel is certainly one of the most remarkable people in history ever to hold it. So you're following in very, very high footsteps, and the people between that first tradition and now have been some of the most outstanding, respected members of the profession. So this appointment is one of tremendous historic significance. It is of great distinction, and it is a great privilege. You're here today in recognition of your ability and your professionalism and your accomplishments, and I'm confident that you all will continue to distinguish the profession as you go forward. On behalf of the government, again, I want to express to each of you my sincere congratulations. And hopefully someday we'll get you all invited to a reception where I can have the good fortune to express my congratulations personally. Thank you, Chief Justice.
Thank you, Mr. Minister, and I take the opportunity to thank you and Mr. Williams, who's not here, but perhaps somebody will convey to him my gratitude for the excellent cooperation during our deliberations that led to these wonderful appointments. Alors, merci, Monsieur le Ministre. À ce moment, j'invite la trésorière du barreau du Nouveau-Brunswick à adresser les félicitations au nouveau conseiller. I would ask the treasurer of the Law Society, Ms. Kathy Fawcett, QC, to address the new Queen's Counsel. Now, why the treasurer? Well, you all remember that in Ontario, the treasurer of the Law Society is the president. We're not going the Ontario route. It just happens that both the president, the current president, Carly Parrish, and the vice president, Justin Robichaud, are recipients, and I don't think it would be appropriate for them to congratulate themselves. So, Ms. Fawcett, please.
Your loss is my gain. Honorable Chief Justice J.C. Mark Richard, Honorable Hugh Fleming, QC, Minister of Justice and Public Safety and Attorney General, Isabelle Lavoie-Dig, President of the CBA New Brunswick Branch, distinguished guests, colleagues, Mesdames et Messieurs. C'est un honneur pour moi de représenter le barreau de Nouveau-Brunswick et d'avoir à la fois le privilège et le plaisir de m'adresser à nos collègues qui reçoivent une distinction spéciale aujourd'hui. Your fellow members of the Law Society of New Brunswick join with me in congratulating you and honoring you as you accept this distinction. It is granted in recognition of your skill, your hard work, and your demonstrated commitment to our chosen profession. Whether you see today's ceremony as being called to the inner bar, taking the silk, or accepting the Queen's Counsel designation, you've earned the respect of the Distinguished Nomination Committee, the judiciary, your colleagues, and the community at large. This province bestows this honor on only a select few of the many, many qualified individuals around the province. You're each recognized for extraordinary knowledge of the law, respect for the judicial system, and commitment to the very highest principles of practice. And yet, though you share these essential qualifications, you've each chosen a different path that brought you here today. You are unique in how you serve your clients, your profession, and your community. And just as there have been many paths to arrive on this very distinguished Zoom call, there are as many unique channels to continue to serve. From your position as Her Majesty's Counsel, learned in the law, you cannot underestimate the value of teaching, mentoring, and guiding the younger colleagues who come after you. Vous êtes encouragés à remercier ou vous souvenir de ceux qui ont servi comme vos propres mentors, enseignants et guides tout au long de vos carrières, et envers que vous êtes reconnaissants. On behalf of the Law Society of New Brunswick, I'm humbled to welcome you to the inner bar. I hope you're able to reflect on these accomplishments so far with such great pride, while still looking forward to the future opportunities and responsibilities with a sense of anticipation and determination. Today marks an incredible opportunity for all of us. So congratulations and félicitations.
Merci, Madame Fawcett. Alors, j'invite plutôt Isabelle Lavoie-Daigle, présidente de la division du Nouveau-Brunswick de l'Association du barreau canadien, d'adresser des félicitations au nouveau conseiller.
Merci, Monsieur le juge en chef de la province, Justices of the Court of Appeal, Honorable Minister Fleming, Ms. Fawcett, New Queen's Counsel, nouveau conseiller et nouvelle conseillère de la Reine. C'est un véritable honneur pour moi de participer à cette cérémonie spéciale aujourd'hui au nom des 1700 membres de l'Association du barreau canadien du Nouveau-Brunswick. Notre association est très fière de compter parmi nos membres des avocates et avocats du calibre de celles et ceux qui sont honorés aujourd'hui. The highest honor a lawyer can receive is the recognition and respect of his or her colleagues in the profession. As lawyers, we know those amongst us who best demonstrate leadership and excellence in our profession. The Queen's Counsel designation is the most public and highly esteemed expression of that recognition. It means that the lawyer's career, reputation, and accomplishments are held in the highest regard by his or her peers and the judiciary. Les 13 nouveaux conseillers et nouvelles conseillères de la Reine sont tous des individus hors pair qui ont consacré leur temps et efforts afin de faire rayonner non seulement notre profession, mais également toute la communauté. In considering the various accomplishments and contributions of those being honored today, I am humbled and proud to represent such a remarkable group in my capacity as president of the Canadian Bar Association of New Brunswick. La cérémonie d'aujourd'hui vise, entre autres, à reconnaître ces gestes importants que vous avez posés pour les gens qui vous entourent. Votre dévouement et vos implications sociales, communautaires, gouvernementales et légales sont impressionnantes et représentent un exemple pour chacun et chacune de nous. I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for the time and effort you have invested advancing causes which are important both to the individuals you have represented, but also to the people of New Brunswick. Your actions and devotion on a daily basis have served to elevate the reputation of our profession and the respect for our shared calling. You are professionals in the truest and most honorable sense. Au nom de tous les membres de l'Association du barreau canadien du Nouveau-Brunswick, je vous offre mes sincères félicitations pour cet honneur si bien mérité. Congratulations. Félicitations. Merci.
Merci, Madame Lavoie-Daigle. J'invite maintenant ma collègue, la juge Quigg. I invite now my colleague, Justice Quigg, to address the new Queen's Counsel on behalf of the New Brunswick Judiciary.
Monsieur le juge en chef Richard, Justice Green, Mr. Minister, Queen's Counsel recipients, membres du barreau, and special guests. D'entrée de jeu, je tiens à remercier le juge en chef Richard de m'avoir permis de vous adresser quelques mots à l'occasion de cette cérémonie annuelle de confirmation de la nomination au titre de conseiller de la Reine. Quant au nouveau conseiller de la Reine, je salue votre mérite et je vous félicite d'avoir fait montre au fil des années d'une excellence soutenue dans la prestation de vos services juridiques et ce, dans le plus grand respect de votre code de déontologie professionnelle. As you may know, a member of the Law Society may be appointed Queen's Counsel if he or she has been engaged in the active practice of law for at least 15 years with extensive experience before the courts, is a Deputy Attorney General, is a Dean of a law school, or merits the appointment by reason of exceptional service to the profession. Thus, subject to the exceptions for the Deputy Attorney General and Deans of law schools, the primary qualification for appointment requires the candidate have been actively engaged in the practice of law for at least 15 years and have extensive experience before the courts. La magistrature est donc appelée à jouer un rôle important dans le processus. That is hardly surprising, since the letters patent that issue grant a patent of precedence in the courts. Cela dit, par dérogation à l'article 3, le comité peut recommander la nomination d'un candidat ou d'une candidate qui la mérite en raison de services exceptionnels rendus à la profession. The secondary qualification is exceptional service to the legal profession. In the past, the committee has taken a broad approach to the application of Section 4, remaining all the while vigilant to ensure respect for both the letter and the spirit of the legislative directives. Being named as Queen's Counsel is an honor. The honor recognizes distinguished services in the profession of law and the service of the community. As Minister Fleming said, it has a long history dating back over 400 years to the first appointments as Queen's Counsel in England. Today, all candidates identified in the certificate meet the qualifications set by the regulation. Importantly, all candidates have significant support from the judiciary. You 13 lawyers represent a microcosm of the New Brunswick Law Society, coming from government, private civil practice, and the criminal defense bar. Let me say a word about the fact that 6 of the recipients today are women. Law was at one time considered a gentleman's profession. When Mabel Pennery French, New Brunswick's first female lawyer, was called to the bar in 1905, the minutes of the ceremony recorded the call and admission of 20 gentlemen, including Mabel Pennery French. This stands in marked contrast to today's ceremony, in which 6 accomplished women will receive, along with the gentlemen, and as equals, the highest honor the legal profession has to offer. At a time when women are entering law school at ever-increasing numbers, but leaving the profession in disproportionate numbers to men, you are a beacon to those women who face discrimination in the practice of law, difficulties accommodating family and work responsibilities, and barriers to career advancement. You are living proof that women can have a career and a life as well. In closing, let me go on record as having no doubt that all of you will comport yourselves in a manner consonant with the promise of excellence that is implicit in your nomination as Queen's Counsel. Today, a special burden has been placed on your shoulders. Take great satisfaction in this accomplishment. Enfin, je tiens à vous rappeler que tous les membres de la magistrature de Nouveau-Brunswick ont la profonde conviction que vous avez suivi une façon constante une ligne de conduite exemplaire qui vous a amené ici. C'est une ligne de conduite dictée par une probité et une excellence professionnelle qui vous démarque du commun des juristes. Merci.
Merci, Madame la juge. Thank you, Justice Quigg. Alors, cela termine la cérémonie d'aujourd'hui. As the minister, I hope that I get to congratulate you in person, if not at some reception sometime in the future, when you give us wise counsel in your appearances at the Court of Appeal. You already are distinguished lawyers, so I'm not going to say I expect better quality because you've achieved the quality necessary. But I do look forward to congratulating you in person. Alors, cela termine la cérémonie d'aujourd'hui. J'espère un jour pouvoir vous féliciter en personne. Entre-temps, je vous souhaite une bonne fin de journée et merci. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.